Hey, how are you? I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. My goodness. Oh, hold on one moment. Hold, please. Okay. Hi, Roly. How are you? I'm glad you're able to make a live finally. Oh my goodness, y'all. Um, boy, if this dump were any more like, I don't know, real famous people or real news, real media. Oh, my internet husband, Mike Stevens, has entered the building. Hey, Mike, how are you? I mean, we are literally going to press, 30 seconds before I sat in this seat. I made the mistake of listening to something that I was listening to when I was walking the dog. What the hell did I do with my phone? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yes. I was listening to Queen Bee just a few minutes ago. And oh God, she was playing a clip of someone we're going to talk about here. Miss Molly, Manatee Molly, as I've dubbed her, which is not nice of me. Oh well. Yeah, boy. I have said many times that the reason I've never spoken on Molly Go Lightly before now, and the whole, like the St. Jude thing is what started it. I think the reason I have never spoken on her is because I had no knowledge base of her. I knew very little. I cannot stand her accent. It makes me want to drive a sharp implement into my eardrums. Now, I apologize to anybody who shares that same very heavy, thick New Jersey, New York. Hers is Jersey, I'm sure. Hey, Prissy, how are you? Oh, Cericia, thanks for listening, babe. Yeah. So the reason I've not talked on her at any length is because I don't just come up here and start talking shit on people because somebody else says, oh my God, you got to talk about this one, talk about that one. Listen, y'all, I only have so many hours in a day, okay? And kind of like, that I was introduced to this by a friend of mine who has a grandchild, baby shark. Oh God. You literally cannot get that shit out of your brain. The baby shark. Well, I can't wash all these gross people out of my brain if I talk about too many for too long. So, Molly's accent, while I'm sure not her fault, although, as I mentioned in her parody CV on both of my channels, community tabs, because y'all, we are running the board of directors. We're voting for every board position for Tragedy Pimps Inc. And I have taken the liberty of, I've gotten 2 of their parody CVs done so far, Molly and Betty. And Molly's is definitely some of my better work. So what I was going to say is, please don't take this as me insulting everyone from the state of New Jersey or New York, but I don't know, someone who's an internet star and, a TV star, reality trash TV star, rich, famous, the whole nine. I don't know, as she loves to remind you constantly of her great friend, Vinnie Politan, who I actually like very much. I've listened to him for many years, and I won't hold it against him that he's friends with Molly. But he doesn't talk like her. So, and I notice that her accent, it waxes and wanes. It's, sometimes it's very thick. And sometimes when she's trying to class it up, I guess the accent's not as heavy. So I can't spend too much time listening to these tools because some of them, like her, it's not just what they say and do, it's the way she says it. And if I thought, had I not heard such drastic differences in the accent many times now, I wouldn't probably bust on her about it too much. But Molly, honey, I think you really should consider a diction coach, because let me tell you something. What I just heard on Queen Bee's, you are, my God in heaven, I cannot believe that you have got a child who I'm presuming has friends who found his mommy. Whoa. What I just heard her saying on Queen Bee, and I'm not even going to repeat it. And I think Queen Bee, she wasn't on the panel, I don't think. I think they were playing a clip, running commentary. Let's just say it was about big cuck. We'll just say cuck. But she didn't say cuck. And, you know, it doesn't, it's just even, well, not that it can get much more discussed. I just cannot imagine in any world where I don't give a damn how old my kids are. If you have living parents, grandparents, a spouse, holy shit. I know a lot about the finance industry. There's several people in my family that work in it. And my husband formerly did. And I don't know, I just can't, I can't imagine when you're at, any of the big brokerage houses and you're out having a cocktail party or, going to a work function. Can you picture her rolling up in there talking about that? I mean, I would hope to God that she is truly devoid of class. Bitch, you, like I told you before, you can wrap yourself, like they do how people have their cars wrapped who have businesses. Sweetie, you could go take yourself. Of course, it's going to cost extra because you have more square footage. But you can wrap yourself in Tom Ford or Dolce & Gabbana, Chanel. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You are one of the foulest. God, I don't get it. I do not get it at all. I am 53 years old, and if I wouldn't do it, but if I did the kind of shit she does and speaks the way she does, you can bet your sweet ass my mom would be dialing me up and reading me for filth. Because, if you have any kind of standing in your community, or you're just a decent person who associates with decent people, I mean, my God, I don't get it. Truly, it really blows my mind. I think I gave her way too much credit. Beer Can, hey Beer Can, how are you? Life coaching? Children? I wouldn't let her life coach my dog. What did she teach? What is she coaching you in? How to be a bitter, jealous bitch with no filter that talks like a damn, oh God. Wow. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to assume that Molly was not a debutante back in her day. Can you picture her? Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, but like I said, just it's up to the minute news on here. I had, I had my little notes of what I want to talk about, and of course, I have to then start scribbling for what I just heard 5 minutes ago. I mean, honestly, I guess to each his own. It's no skin off my ass how she acts. I don't associate with people who behave like that. Uh, so whatever. But just as a woman, it's appalling to me to hear a woman, another woman, and a mother speak like that. And I just, I'm going to hold myself back and not say, you know, say, unlike these ass clowns, I don't say everything that resides up here. I have a speed bump between here and here. So I'm not going to say a large percentage of what I'll say to my husband when I'm done in here. Because I'm just not going to, I'm not going to speak about people's children or on their, that's not my place to do. That's not my problem. But I think that, I guess when you are incredibly self-centered, you only care about you and your agenda and what you want and what you have to do to further it. So, I mean, it's a shame. Hey, Hippie, how are you? Kathy Clock the House, how you doing? Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Beer Can, how you doing? Laugh with me, Lily. Lipstick on a pig is still a pig. Oh, this is a wild hog, okay? Don't think Charlotte's Web. Don't think Wilbur, okay? No. Think here in Florida, we have wild hogs. Boars are actually nuisance animals. They will, oh my God, if you have property, they will tear your shit up. It's we have another rental home and it's on more acreage than the house we live in. So we do not have problems with wild pigs here. But where the rental is, which is a little more rural, all the time. I mean, I kid you not when I tell you, you can wake up and there can be a cow walking through your yard. But certain times of the year, actually, we may have gone, I don't think it's a free-for-all at this point, but certain times of the year, it is absolutely legal and appreciated if people will kill the hogs. So think that kind of hog. And I'm not talking, that hog is not rooting truffles, okay? She might think she is, but Slim Jims, maybe. Truffles, no. Now, okay. All right, so we got that. Sorry, I just like out of the gate like a stallion. No, that's Molly and Betty. I'd be a mare. Before we go any further, I want to say a couple things. Oh, Christina Logan, how are you? The UK. I have some friends in the UK. Aberdeen, Scotland, and I think the other one is right in London now. Okay, at any rate, a couple things before I really get on a roll here. Please do not hate, harass, send hate, harass, or dox, most especially anyone that I am speaking on here. This is all for YouTube content. I am speaking on the exploits of those that we have dubbed the tragedy pimps. This might be a good place for my visual, although I really like tragedy pimps a lot. Probably better than this one. I am going to show you all the title of this live, the Chiselers. Look, have y'all ever heard that? I do not even remember what I was doing. I was looking something up and this popped up in my search. So Another, if we get tired of calling them tragedy pimps, which that's, I don't know, that's pretty good. I don't think we're going to get tired of that. But I was thinking something like we could just call them chizzies or chisels, chisel, finizzles. I don't even know what that means, but it rhymes and it sounds good. So a chiseler, slang from the Urban Dictionary, is a person who wins by deception, by sharp practice, although most of these are definitely dim bulbs. Nothing sharp about most of them. Is a cheat and generally a low-life swindler, someone who cannot be trusted, particularly at business. I had just never heard, I'd never heard that term before. So I thought, well, gee, I mean, can we really have enough names for them? Probably not. Okay, so there, I have no, when I walk out of this office door, I'm done with these idiots. I don't think about them. I don't give a shit about them until I turn YouTube on and there they are via one of the channels doing God's work, the clip channels. Of course, our OG mother, Heels in the Air, Chronicles of the Shady, Mouse for You to Envy, Hugh Janus, Couch Clips. I know I'm forgetting some. I'm sorry. Yeah, they do. Honestly, I don't know how you all do this. I would find a short bridge and take a very long drive in a very fast car if I had to be immersed in these disgusting dirt bags every day. Like, yeah, I truly, y'all, I don't know what it is about this place. YouTube is the quintessential, it is a magnet for mentally ill people who are drawn like mentally ill moths to the eternal flame of YouTube. That it literally floors me when and I'm not just talking about these people that we talk about all the time. Oh, I had the, hi Paige Davis, how are you? I'm glad you like it here. I had the extreme misfortune of, and I'm not even going to say this bitch's name because she is so foul and disgusting, but apparently she's one of Molly's, I guess what she would term a stalker. And I would tend to probably believe her on this woman. All I'm going to say about her is she's got the same initials. Wow. She is a salty, woo, cuckoo, cuckoo. I mean, some people, the cuckoo just comes shining through, which I don't know. That may not be a bad thing on here. They may save us a little research. Queen Ashley, how are you, my friend? So we need Benny Keys to make up we need him to make up some kind of word to use with chiselers. Chisel. He's good at that shit. Yeah, so I had the misfortune of having a little interaction with her in a chat. Now here's a new one. I have to say I was shocked when I saw her because I wasn't expecting. She's physically much more presentable than I had imagined her in my mind. What I imagined was, let's just say I was surprised. I mean, I thought she would be, we'll just leave it there. Hi, Kara, how are you? Fairy Dust, how you doing? Okay, so I run into this woman in a chat, and she's absolutely, I mean, what happens to you all? Do you like, I don't know if it's kind of like, is it the moon? Did you run out of your Thorazine? I don't know. I don't get it. Some of them, like her, my God, I've never seen somebody besides maybe Betty. Hell, she makes Betty look kind of chill. So like hyper aggressive. Oh, foul mouthed. Oh my God. She was going at it with a woman who was lovely. Oh my God, what was her name? She's got a channel, Veloma. Does that sound right? Does anybody know? Somebody knows who I'm talking about. I think her name's Veloma. Lovely woman. Obviously has the patience of damn Job, because this cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man, she was just foul, hateful. The way these women speak. Okay, so Sarah, thank you. Her name is Veloma. Laugh with me, Lily. I love that name. Did I already say hi? I think I did. Girls, sorry, I'm old. I can't remember. That's why I have to write all this shit down. Yeah. If I were the original MGL, oh God, I might like consider. It was. Whoa, she was something else, and the crazy just came shining through. I mean, she was almost feral. It was like, and here's the most hilarious thing. She said, as she was just being so hateful and disgusting to this Veloma, one of the things she said was, "Listen, bitch, I'm sitting in my 4-story house. I'm going up to my gym right now. I went to the most exclusive boarding school in the country." To which I said, because I mean, if y'all are here, I like to chat. So, and I'm sorry, I just love to verbally spar with stupid people. Although I shouldn't say that. I like to be in a chat where it's kind of fiery stuff that's going on. Especially when it's like, doing what I'm doing. Like when Benny Keys was talking about Prayer Garden of America. Oh my God. I mean, that's like lifting weights for me. It just flies off the keyboard. I can make a keyboard smoke. So as she was frothing at the mouth, basically feral, and then tells us how she's gone to the most exclusive boarding school in the country. So I said to her multiple times, and she would not answer me. And there wasn't a whole bunch of people in this chat. And she absolutely saw she would answer a lot, but she wasn't going there. I said to her, "Oh, where'd you go?" I said, "You go to Miss Porter's?" And she wouldn't answer me. And I'm like, oh, I tend to not think so. And if all that is true, my goodness, I think your parents should maybe consider getting like a personal injury lawyer and trying to get their money back, because that shit was an epic fail. And people like that, honestly, if I were a better person, I guess I would sit here and say, oh, well, she's not right, allegedly, for all the people who have, working ears and eyes. Listen, I've said it before. Ignorant, dumbass people piss me off. They just do. So, and it's one thing to try and, when somebody's just poking, and they're just mean and they're foul and they're filthy. Oh, it's just, sometimes it's, hey, we're all human. And that, honestly, those are the people that piss me off. It's like I just, I'm just not a fan of eggs. Okay. I'm not a fan of eggs. Never have been, never gonna be. Okay. So yes, please. This is all. I would love to dispel with this blanket thing that they all say when they behave like, complete jackrags, and then they get called out. Fairy dust, I agree. Valomas, that is the first time I've ever met her, had any interaction with her. I have heard her name around other chats, but I've never met her before. And she was lovely. I mean, she let that freak just come at her, literally foaming at the mouth. And she, she was very patient, and she could have taken a lot of cheap shots. Well, they wouldn't even have been cheap. They would have been deserved. And she didn't do it. She kept it very classy. So, hey, freak, MGL wannabe lady, whoever you are, I know who you are. I'm not going to give you the play. Wow. You ought to you could learn a thing or two from that woman, Valoma. I don't know how to be civil and not appear to need a rabies shot. So yes, please, y'all, don't. No, this is all. What I was saying about what I would like to dispel with here is anybody like me who all I consider that I am doing here is it's the YouTube circular economy. I am using them to build this channel. I am exploiting the shit out of them and what they do to build this channel. And I think it's amazing. I think it's great. Something good should come from them because everything they touch turns to shit. So I just think it's, kind of like, what's the word? I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like the karma, whatever the case may be. That being said, I have no real life hate or ill will for any of these people. I don't want to see anything happen to them. I don't want to see anything happen to their families. I don't give a damn. I could not care less how many people sub to them. It makes me question the overall sanity and intelligence of society. It freaks me out in that manner. It really does. It makes me take a serious, long look at what the hell's happening to this world. I mean, this is idiocracy right here, is what it is. The many who are freaking criminals. That's all they are. They are criminals. Former, present, who cares? But for whatever reason, they have managed to cull some type of following. And that's okay. I don't give a shit. I am going to give you the exact same thing. Right now, there's 34 people in this chat. I'm thrilled to death with that. You are going to get the same thing from me, whether there's 2 people, 34 people, 34,000 people. I don't give a damn. None of that is why I'm doing this. I mean, I'm sure some people would say, well, you're just as bad as they are. No, I'm not. And the difference is, I can assure you, there's very little that I will do for the sake of a channel. Very little. They cannot say the same. They will do anything. I have already blown one channel up. I could walk away tomorrow and never look back, and my life would sail along just fine, which to me puts me in it's a nice place to be sitting. I don't fault anybody for trying to make this their living. My God, more power to you. I couldn't do it. I could not be that immersed in this all those hours a day. I couldn't. But do you? This is not about that. And there is a freedom in that. I don't care what they say. And I'm going to say what I've said 100 times, and I'm going to keep saying it. You can call me and people who speak out against you, you can call us haters. But what I'm going to need you to do is tell me what it is you have that I want. That's what I have yet to hear. I'm not a hater. I am doing what everybody else is doing. I'm doing commentary on absolute blithering idiot fools and what they are serving us. Do you think I don't know that there are probably people doing the exact same thing to me? I know the things people say. Hell, I've had them say it to me. I don't care. One of the people we're going to talk about, Ms. Bullhorn Betty. My God. If anybody ever needed a damn Xanax, holy shit. Her life might be different if I don't know, they say better living through chemicals, Betty. You should look into that. I mean, do you know how many people I had like before the original Crimes in Fashion? Especially when I really started speaking out against these people that would come in my chat and say nasty, shitty things, and I would laugh. And I tell everybody, including them, any of those people, you're welcome here anytime you'd like to come and talk to me and tell me about myself. That goes for anybody. If you hate my guts, come tell me. All I ask is that if you can't speak in complete thoughts and you can only, froth at the mouth and drop F-bombs, well, maybe bring your crayons and color me some pictures. That's all I ask, though. You can say whatever you want as long as you can be, not incredibly vulgar. Because, I mean, that's just the game. I talk about them. People talk about me. Somebody talks about them. But the difference is I do not give a damn who your family is, where your kids go to school, what you do for a job. I don't care. I don't care where you live. I don't care what your friggin' criminal record is. You know why Betty and the rest of them, the criminals, get clubbed over the head with that? Because they, well, I mean, there's lots of reasons, but they don't play fair. And when I say play fair, I mean, it stays in the monitor. It stays right here. It never leaves here. If you have to leave here and do all the dirty, underhanded shit that you people do, you have already lost. I don't give a shit how many subs you have. It is irrelevant to me. I'm not monetized. I don't plan on monetizing, even when I'm eligible. I don't feel like, I don't want to get into the whole money thing because I've said many times, and I truly mean it. I don't have a problem with anyone getting paid for working on their channel. But that is not the same thing as getting people who probably can't afford it in the first place to pay for you to go on little junkets. under the guise of working. You know, it's like you can't buy yourself a job. That's what they would like you to think. This is my job. Well, you suck at your job. You might want to find another one. Okay. And for the love of God, everybody, I don't care who, everyone across the board, I don't care who you are, stop involving people's children in this shit. God, that is so disgusting and foul. It is, there's no excuse. It is inexcusable. Go take up knitting. I don't know, find a fucking hobby. If you don't have anything better to do than come on the internet and terrorize people for fun. None of these people under the guise of being worried. You worry about your own shit and let everybody else worry about theirs. That's how that should work. And if you're so smart and so successful and so this and so that, why would you do that? Why do you need to go there? I don't cage fight. So stop involving people's children. It's really disgusting. I don't give a shit how much you hate somebody. First of all, that in and of itself right there, run to a doctor quickly. I don't even know if talk space will suffice. You need to get on a couch and lay down and talk and talk and talk some more and talk for a long time, because it is not normal to be so ate up with something that's not even this. You know, this is not like high school. No, because high schoolers are more mature. I mean, talk all the smack you want, but when you start making it your business to impact someone else's real life because of something you have seen or heard on YouTube, you ain't right. Okay? Let's just call it what it is. It's not normal, and it isn't right. I have zero use for any of these people, but I would never go out of my way to do anything that would impact these people's lives. Never. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. My God, what the hell ever happened to being able to not like someone? It's like there's nothing in the middle. It's either I hate you, you're a piece of shit, I'm going to do everything in my power to try and hurt your real life. That is not, it's not right. And there is not one person I have ever talked about or I'm going to talk about that I would do that to. But I'm not mentally ill, apparently. Oh, and by the way, for anyone who has not gone to the community page on Crimes and Fashion and Fashionistas, Felons, and Fruit Loops, please do and go look at my parody CVs. I've done the curriculum vitae, i.e. resume. I have done one for Betty and Molly. I think I'm going to do Dolly's next. I like to write, so, you know, like I said, it's better than smoking crack, okay? When I find myself with a little time on my hands after I've been, you know, internet shopping and my iPad is getting ready to combust because I've, you know, been, those things get hot. Yeah, well, after I've done that and I've melted the credit card, I like to write. I always have. you know, maybe in a past life. I don't know. Oh, why are you yelling at us? It's just me. I'm sorry. Cassie, I think I said that right. Cassie Muerto 1219. Sorry, it's just me. It's nothing personal. Okay. All right, so we did that. Oh goodness. Something else I would like to direct your attention to, just in case you haven't seen it and you need a good laugh. Hippie, this speaks to your comment. I love the old-fashioned roasts of people, an intelligent way to grieve differences. Yes, you do see the problem, right? Oh my God, have you ever seen the Martha Stewart? No, Justin Bieber. Oh my God, Martha Stewart roasting Justin Bieber. That shit was classic. Yes, Cassie, I'm a very small person, and sometimes I think with all like little tiny people. Sometimes, you know, you just start yelling. I don't even know I'm doing it half the time. Okay, so hold on. On Friday, Savage Life Media and the ladies, they did an absolutely hilarious parody of Betty. Savage was Betty's binder. Oh my God. Shannon was the press pass. Was Pirate the bleach? Who was the blue bucket? Y'all, honest to God, I about wet my pants. It truly, ladies, as I put in my comment, you ladies are the OGs, and I proudly bow down in submission. Heels, how are you? Girl, I've been starting to worry about you. I was sending you some message. I sent you a few of them. I'm like, damn, did I accidentally block her? I've done that before. Heels in the Air is the hardest working woman on YouTube, doing the filthy, dirty job the rest of us don't want to do, watching the tragedy pimps. So please, if you have not seen Savage, Pirate, Shannon, and Val doing their, what do they call her? Well, lots of names, but was it burnt ends? Oh my God. Absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. However, the other thing I want to address from that is this. The thing between Dolly and Savage, kind of, you know, I was fairly new around here when that got rolling. I don't know every single thing about it, but I know at least, I would say 75% of it. And Savage addressed this, and I'm going to address it too, because I think it bears repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. So any of you women out there, I don't give a damn if you like her or not. Okay. Boy, you know, I was actually sitting back thinking to myself, she gets a bad rap from people. I have a feeling that she's probably kind of like me. I have a feeling that it's love or hate. There's probably not a lot of people in the middle. And I also say in both cases, I think it is probably very undeserved. And I may be completely wrong. But the bottom line is this. Women should not tear down other women for the sake of a disgusting disgusting, filthy, vile, I might add ugly, loser man. It is very well documented. Dolly's, just some of his history that we know about with women. He is an abusive piece of shit, in my opinion. And I'm basing that on what he's shown us and given us. The way he spoke to that woman, Eileen, I believe her name is, the whole Quentin Simmons debacle, when he and his nasty ass girlfriend, whatever the hell she was, I won't refer to her as many other people have, because even though I can't stand her and have zero use for her, I wouldn't dream of speaking to her, Molly, whatever that, Mallory, none of these people. I would not speak to any of those women like he spoke to that woman who was doing what? What was the sin that she committed besides try and punk their ass and do the same thing I'm doing? Shine a light on the grifters. Listen, I am hoping every day that y'all's your run, call it what you want to. I am very hopeful that enough people are finally willing to speak out against you. I don't give a shit what happens to any of you. I'm not looking to take your channels down. I don't care about you that much. I'd have to care about you to want to lose your channel. Now, I'm not talking about what's going on between Savage and Dolly. That is a whole nother matter. I'm talking about as someone who's had no interaction with him, except for the time he wanted to, try and give me some advice about being a good human. Well, I can tell you what, you're not going to find any recordings of me behaving like you do. And I don't have a criminal record. Oh, except for my when I was 18 years old and I committed a white collar crime for $100. Yeah. But, I've managed to live 35 years with no interaction with the law, aside from a speeding ticket. So I think I paid my debt to society. Cassie, I agree, but I try and extend that courtesy because she already uses that as a shield against some really shitty behavior. So I'm not going to give her, I'm not going to give her any reason to try and take away from the message that I'm saying because of not being very considerate that way. But I'm with you, girl. I truly, hearing the way he spoke to that woman, Eileen, who was doing nothing but walking down the street. I mean, when are you people going to wake up? Those of you that sub to them. And it's like, y'all, listen, I don't smoke, but if I did, I would hold up a lighter, but instead we'll hold up a lipstick. How about that? I'd say smoke, mirrors. And when you put the two together, you get Dolly sitting in his studio, his beautiful, my goodness, he's got a studio that rivals the Fox News set. Yeah. Smoking out. Ladies, there's a reason he never takes that hat off. You got that, right? I mean, he's like, his hairline has now met the crown of his head. I think he's got it on the sides. Oh, and he's, a ginger. Not that that matters, but ladies, I got news for you. He ain't, I don't even know how you'd look at him and go, oh yeah, God, he's hot. I can see where Mike, I told you earlier, if you want a divorce, just ask, okay? We don't have to do this passive aggressive thing. But to each his own. And until I really knew, I shouldn't say knew, because I don't know any of these people and I don't want to know any of them. Until I had enough reference of what he has provided us for consumption, I could see where he could be. Listen, I get it. He's got the Larry the Cable Guy. If he was, a mad stoner, he tries to come across like that. Although I think he's probably got more in common with Harvey Weinstein, but allegedly, hypothetically, that's just me. I am not accusing him of anything. But I could see, not for me, but I could see where if you went in there all the time, he could be engaging, and I think he tries to portray himself as this everyman, and maybe he is. I don't know, but he's a nasty mofo. I know that. And ladies, and trust me, I don't want any of his subs. Okay, no, please, no, and thank you. Y'all stay right where you are. I'm not your people. I'm not your tribe. But I will tell you this. I don't care what you think his broken down house with wheels with his neon green. Dolly, I've told you before about that paint, honey. Oh God, it's very, no. But hey, it's your house on wheels. You do what you want. But yeah, ladies, I would just remember, damn it, smoke and mirrors, okay? I don't care what his fake green screen studio looks like. He's in a trailer with a registered sex offender, okay? As Betty Keys likes to say, he's got a red dot on his house when you look at it. I'll take his word for it. I've never looked. Don't care. So there is that. And he's mean as a snake. He ain't no fan of women. Okay. Oh, did you see what I did there? When in Rome, speak as the Romans. Not really, just a little bit. Hey, even I say ain't every once in a while. I am from the South. Of course, I probably got my hand slapped for saying that. Yeah, so ladies, just remember that. Remember what he really is. Take away his green screen. Take away his Upchurch hat. Take away his shades. And see it for what it is. It's a middle-aged, not very attractive, really not very smart, can be engaging socially, I guess, when he wants to. Kind of like all of them. Usually probably just in an effort to get in your wallet. That'd be my guess. Yeah, he wants his subs, like all of them, to pay for his pretend job. Listen up. A job is not something you buy yourself. And that's coming from someone who's self-employed. But I don't buy myself a job. I have in the past. At least that's what my husband said. But that was many years ago. And I kind of did. It was like, it was more of a, I'm not going to say a hobby because it wasn't a hobby, but you guys know what I'm saying. Okay. He is not some investigative reporter. And I'm just here to say right now, if I go missing, please do not look for me. Of course, I'm sure they would not. I'm sure that goes without saying. This is strictly rhetorical. You might need a Webster. Don't get a Black Law dictionary. Get a Webster dictionary for that one. Yeah, please don't come look for me. So what are we left with? A guy with a lengthy criminal record who's got a brother that is absolutely a waste of skin, who in his real life, I guess, when the mask or when the cloud of weed smoke dissipates, you're left with what he really is. Another delusional person on here who thinks they're going to be famous. You're not going to be famous. Why? What do you have that somebody else doesn't? Truthfully, Dolly, gosh, have you ever considered a career in, like, I don't know, the adult entertainment business? Isn't that kind of like your jam? You're a real Casanova, aren't you? Oh hell, he's not going to know who that is. You're a ladies' man, aren't you? Oh God, I can see why they would. Woo! I can see why you'd be hard to resist. But ladies, you better buckle up and hold on if he gets pissed at you, because then he'll show you who he really is, and he'll talk to you like he spoke to that Eileen woman, like you're subhuman. Mike, I don't agree. I think turtles are much nicer. He might be a snapping turtle. See, that's all just bullshit. That's all just an act. This whole, like, you know, I'm the everyday man. I love everybody. I love my turtles. Dude, you're no fan of women. That's very obvious. And I mean, I don't care what anybody does. I don't care if he's got 1,000,000 subs. It doesn't matter. Makes no difference in my life at all. I'm just holding a mirror up to these people. These are just my observations. And they've all got thoughts for me too, but I don't care. So, all right. Oh my goodness, you guys, we have hardly made any progress on these notes. Hold on a moment, please. I've dropped my glasses. Oh, damn it. Okay. Oh, good God. My sciatic nerve. I think it's this chair. Because, like, I can drive. Oh, I'm thinking about getting a new car. And it's making me crazy. My God. Do you know, like, nowadays, I guess a dealership is kind of a thing of the past. You go there to pick up your car that you've ordered online, apparently. But I'm like, I'm not buying a car that I haven't, like, I at least want to drive it, or I want to see it in person. I'm thinking about getting a Tesla. But I don't know. You guys, it is so crazy. You literally go on there, you build your car, and then you give them like $900. They put your car into production. Well, after you give them the $900, then I guess if you're going to use their financing, which their financing is really good. I mean, their interest rate is super low, but I think it's probably cheaper at a credit union. I don't know, I have to check on that. But if you want to use theirs, they do it in like 10 minutes. And then they just call you and say, okay, your car's ready. A yellow Porsche? No, I don't need any yellow car, Mike. Do I look like a damn taxi driver? You know, actually, I would love to have a Panamera. My husband looks at me like I have 3 heads when I tell him. He's like, yeah, Porsche's a pretty rough ride. Not a Panamera wouldn't be. Okay. So anyway, what I wanted to say about all that was, ladies, look, you don't have to like Savage. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like anybody. But the notion that you need to disavow yourself from is thinking for 1 minute that Savage, or probably any other woman who's had run-ins with him, wants him. What exactly would she want? That's the question they'll never answer. They have their, listen, if these people were smarter, I would say, like, you know, when you watch Fox News or whatever news you watch, and they say, you know, oh, well, those are just talking points. These idiots don't know what talking points are. They're just like buzzwords. It's like just this stupid blanket statement they throw out. And this isn't just about this. I'm not saying this because I like Savage. Of course I do. But I would be saying this to anyone who doesn't know and who should not believe. I mean, god damn, how dumb are you people? Wake up. My God, it is bad enough that y'all like put these people on a pedestal. Half of them are fucking criminals. They don't work. They're dumb as wood. What is wrong with you? And you're going to, as a woman, you're going to come for another woman about a situation you don't know anything about. But if you had any damn common sense, you'd maybe sit back and go, I don't know, something doesn't sound right here. She's been married 25 years. And let me tell you what kind of piece of trash you have to be to come for another man's wife. You're disgusting. You're lucky that guy didn't beat your ass. My husband has never in his life spoken to a woman like you've talked to her. I mean, you know how many women were probably had to get their crying towels out when my husband came off the market? I'm sure nobody says that about you. But to have the absolute, just, God, unmitigated disrespect. I mean, goddamn, do you like, is there man code? Were you absent that day? What man? Who, by the way, asshole, you're playing around in, this is a woman's playground, okay? What dude wants to sit around kikiing every day, talking shit on women? You're disgusting. Grow up. My God, don't you have a Slurpee machine to fix? And I'm not busting on you for that. You were probably a lot nicer person when you were there. Dude, you are not famous. You are not going to be famous. I'm pretty sure you'll never be rich. But I don't give a shit if you are or not. No skin off my ass. Hey, Tuesday child. I'm back. I'm nationwide. And every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. That's why we're talking about Dolly. Because, boy, he's got some, whoo, he's a sharp dressed man. So, yeah, ladies, please, if you can't just say, you know what, I'm not going to speak on another woman when I don't know the situation, the least you can do, I mean, don't come looking for trouble. It's horrible. There's nobody on here that I would sell out another woman over. So listen, I don't know if all you women live in a town where there's two men. So you think he's like some kind of hot commodity? He's not. No, he is not. I just think it's really pathetic that, you know, like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. How many women have come forward with not so nice allegations? Wildflower. Hi, Blank Screen. How are you? Blank Screen, are you the one that Betty yells at all the time? Hey, Revival, how you doing? Oh, God. I don't know who's worse. Oh, Mike, you're right. Dolly is a modern day Cary Grant. And I'm Grace Kelly. And we're going to catch a thief. No, I didn't say we're going to be a thief. I said we're going to catch a thief. That would be so lot. That reference will like an F. What do they call those? Those fighter jets. What are those called? Yeah. Oh, hell no, Lily. Ryan Gosling. He'd have to work to get to Jonah Hill. Okay. And I like Jonah Hill. I love him. He'd have to work to get to Napoleon Dynamite. That's it, Napoleon Dynamite. But not as good looking. Okay. Oh, so Blank Screen is the one Molly hates. Oh my God, welcome. If I knew how to put a red carpet emoji out, I would do it. Oh, Gymnast Girl. I'm speaking on all of them. Tragedy Pimps et al. I haven't gotten very far down my list though because I keep getting sidetracked. Okay. It's not that I get sidetracked. It's that I start running at the mouth too long on one subject. All right. Ooh, good news. Good news. We're progressing. Okay, now we're getting to the Molly Go Lightly portion of the program. Oh, goody. And I'm actually going to speak about give me 1 second. All right, this morning, I want to talk about it was just a little under 10 minutes. It was like 9 minutes, 35 seconds, something like that. The clip that Savage posted of Dre McCray speaking about her situation. Now, I have said several times that I promise all of you know more about that situation than I do. But I do have, I know the outline. I do not know all the nitty-gritty details. This is what I know. I know that Marvon is in I guess, a long-term care facility, or that's where he's going. I know that Molly and Katie Joy at one point got into bed, so to speak, with Leticia, and I do not know the husband's name, who are the bio parents of Marvon, who my understanding is they either gave custody up or custody was removed when he was a very young child. And now there's a lot of people asking a lot of very pointed questions about a whole shit ton of money that was raised I guess supposedly for Marvon, or was it for the Tom Ford pocketbook of Molly? I don't know. I just know that there was a whole lot of money involved in whatever went on. I don't know where the money went. I know there's a lot of people who know a hell of a lot more than I do. Rock-a-lot is who I've heard. Almost everything I have heard about this situation, I've heard there. Because I don't go to these people's channels. I won't go to these people's channels. I can't. I won't give them a second of a view. So I also know that Molly, just like her CV says on the community page. Oh, well, boy, there is a gorgeous green-eyed lady. Just fighting to get out of her every day. And fight she does, and then she stuffs her back down in there. I have very green eyes, but I don't act like her. I have real green eyes. Now, I'm speaking metaphorical green eyes. I don't know. She might have green eyes too. Okay, so that's what I know. I know that Dre was some type of an influencer. They have 2 children, I guess. And I know that Molly very much wanted people to believe that Dre had something to do with Marvon's state at the moment, which I guess I don't know if he's in a vegetative state, or I know he needs long-term care and extensive care. Oh, the money was supposed to be for a lawyer. Yeah. Okay. So now, of course, the rumor mill is going, and the talk is that Molly and the bio parent, Leticia, and I guess Marvon Sr., I don't know if there was some assertion that they were not all involved together in, like, a Ninja Blender or something like that. I don't know. Those are the things I don't know. So I will defer to someone else's knowledge on that. And I'm not going to speak on any of that because I don't know about it. I'm going to speak on what I feel comfortable speaking on based on what she has shown. Okay. So I watched the clip that Savage put up, and it is basically, hold on. When I came in here and I said I had just been in Queen Bee's and heard some of the just filthy, foul stuff she was saying, Molly, one of the things I heard her say was, I think she might have been talking to her husband, and she was talking about all her haters who, my haters, I think they, oh God, I can't do her accent. I can do it on certain words, but I have met a consonant, a hard consonant. Yes, I've always known though. Molly is still looking to meet a hard consonant. But I'm sure she can't help that, but it just it's like the proverbial nails down the blackboard. And let's face it, she's not a very nice person. So what, any little thing I can bust on her about, well, I'm gonna take that cheap shot. So she was opining that all her haters, which, by the way, none of these people have the slightest bit of self-awareness. If you asked her, why do you think people hate you? And for the record, for the 327th time, subsection A, B, and C, I do not hate Molly Golightly, Bullhorn Betty, Jackrag Jonathan. I don't hate any of these people. I would have to first like them or feel strongly about them to then hate them. I am not in either camp. I laugh at them. They're almost like a social experiment or something. I mean, I truly look at it that way. Like, I watch all this insanity and this just depraved, just, oh my God, they just lose their minds. I mean, I feel bad when I drop the F-bomb on here. And then I watch that. And I literally sit back and I say to my husband, we are doomed. Society at large is doomed. And it's true. We are just, like, there are no manners. There's no decorum. And my husband's like, honey, yes, to a point, but you're in this weird, what does he call it? He's like, you're in this weird little teeny tiny minuscule percentage of YouTube. Not everybody acts like that. I'm like, well, thank God. I'm very glad to hear that. Molly let Betty wear the earrings with that expensive top. What earrings? And what top? Are you talking about the white knit polo? As soon as I saw her in that, I said, oh, I bet she got that from Molly. Because I don't picture Betty being a polo girl. But yes, Betty was opining that all her haters, well, they're really in love with her and they really want her. No. I'm sure I absolutely believe that she has got some legit stalker. Like the one who shares her name or her initials. Wow. Yeah, I would, in that case, I would absolutely believe it. And I would also, I'm sure I don't need to tell Molly Golightly to, I'm sure she's dealt with plenty like that. But yeah, Molly, honey, I neither hate you nor do I want to be you. Or I'm not going to say what she said. Apparently she thinks that everyone wants to bed her. Although she didn't put it quite that delicately. And my mouth was hanging open. And not because of her at all, because she's a whole grown ass woman. But when I think about, I just don't understand how people can put their children. It's like your kids don't have any say. They should, but I don't think any of those people's children have any consideration in what goes on or say. And that's just, that's what I hate. I don't give a damn what she does, what any of them do. I truly don't. I am trying to, God almighty, get people to wake up. Stop giving these people your money, or give them all your money. I don't give a shit. But man, listen, I am far from a perfect person. I've lived a lot of life. Trust me when I tell you, I was wild. I had my time in the sun. But the minute I found out I was pregnant, I never smoked another cigarette again. I mean, it's been almost 25 years since I've had a cigarette. Not that I want one. I dropped every bad habit I had. I never had another drink, not while I was pregnant. So I just cannot relate. And I'm not coming at this as someone who doesn't have children. I just cannot relate to, all kids are embarrassed about their parents naturally, no matter, like, I'm talking way back before we ever had the internet. We were all embarrassed by our parents. Our kids were embarrassed by us, but not for any real reason. And now it's like, wow. I just hate it. I hate it for anybody's child because I just think it's sad. That's all. I truly do. That's who I feel bad for. But anybody who's got kids and they don't take their children's feelings into consideration. And to think that your kids don't see what you do and their friends don't see, of course they do. I think they just don't care. Okay, so Dre is basically the clip that I saw. She is explaining in meticulous detail why she has come back to social media, what what Marvon's care costs, $11,000 a month. The first thing that struck me so much when I was watching this video was, I mean, first of all, she's gorgeous. She has a presence, okay? Don't worry, I wrote some adjectives down and some nouns for both Molly and Dre of, things that come to mind when I look at both of them. The first thing I noticed, besides the fact that, my God, her face is like, her skin is flawless. I don't know how old she is, and I know that she's, was a makeup influencer, but let me tell you something. Makeup, especially when you put it on with a trowel, makeup only does so much. That girl has beautiful skin, okay? I'm sure there's some filters, but I don't look like that. I mean, she is very pretty. And even though I don't know her, I have seen her rocking all kinds of different looks, different color hairs. I mean, I'm assuming sometimes she wears a wig. Sometimes she's she's 35. She looks great. I mean, she looks great for however old she is. Doesn't matter. But what immediately struck me after, how pretty she is, she had a dog and she was petting this dog through the whole thing. And I actually wrote down, is it a service dog? Because I had 2 dogs and 3 cats. I am an animal lover. I know another animal lover when I see one. And I got the distinct impression that dog is some kind of a support animal for her. Because even though she's a fantastic speaker, from what I've seen, she seems to have a very easy time just having a conversational tone and, getting out whatever message she wants to get out. But I definitely got the impression that dog is some kind of support for her. She has an overall, and listen, I'm gonna preface this again by saying I fully admit I do not know a whole lot about her. I have seen a few videos now, but I am not an expert on this situation. I am simply going to give my thoughts on what I see based on what I saw. Oh, fairy dust. I was just getting ready to say, Dre has an overall presence of dignity about her. Molly Golightly has never met dignity. I mean, it might have been out on her yard, sitting on the Ashley furniture, like waving to her, hey, God, my mom said I should meet you. Nobody, no one would say, if I showed 2 people on the street who didn't know either one of those people and said, give me your impressions on each one of these women, She is bitterly jealous of that girl because she's insecure. And you cannot wash insecure away with Tom Ford or any other, Dolce & Gabbana either. And I think all of that, like in your face, over the top, say anything. Listen, I've known people like her in my real life. People who will say anything. Let me give you a great example here. And, maybe, I'm sure you probably know somebody like this too. Or you have somebody in your family like this. That think of the person that, let's say you go out to a nice restaurant. And this is a personal story. This is something that's happened to me. That's why I'm going to tell it. And it's just this is an anecdote, because this is what Molly reminds me of. I was at the Capitol Grill once with a friend, and I loved her dearly. But after a few drinks, she started to resemble her personality a lot like Molly. She got really loud. She got crude. And I just remember the last time that I went to dinner with her, and that's where we were. We were at the Capitol Grill, and it was a Saturday night, and we were in the bar waiting on the table. And I, for anyone who has not been to the Capitol Grill, it's kind of, it's very much like the Palm Steakhouse. It's like Ruth's Chris. It's a steakhouse, and it's pretty pricey, and it looks it. There's a whole, this isn't someplace you go and eat every night, but they have a very nice lounge, and it's just a nice place to go and have a nice meal. And we'd had a few drinks at the bar, waiting for the table, and she was getting louder and louder, and she started saying things that I was nothing. And listen, she didn't say anything that was like, oh my God, but it was one of those things where people were starting to turn and look, and I just wanted to go under the bar, because I was like, oh my God, I don't do this. I don't act like that. That's how I see Molly. Like, she's that person that you don't want to take someplace too nice, because she needs eyes on her. She needs attention all the time, and will do anything to get it. And clearly, as evidenced by YouTube, there ain't no shame in her game. Okay. But what I kept thinking was, why in the hell is this poor woman up here explaining anything to these horrible, hateful, shitty people? That's what she ought to be telling them right there. And a double order. What in the hell? What is wrong with you people? You, holy shit, come back to reality. Nobody owes you any explanation for anything about her life. It is none of your damn business. And Molly's the only one who looks like a damn fool, sitting at her dining room table, putting her makeup on with a trowel. I got it. It was, she was thinking she was parodying what Dre was doing. Molly, you got to be a pretty shitty person to Do you think that that girl's burden isn't enough? Because listen up, bitch. She's been cleared by law enforcement. And I promise you, if I was sitting in her shoes, I'd be getting a lawyer. For you and your hateful little mob of people who, what are you like? Are you the leader of the dumb people? Is that what you are? Because that's the impression I get. Because you are better spoken than most of them. And I'm sure you have a few more shekels than most of them. But the one thing you desperately need, you can't buy. And you can't wrap it in Dolce & Gabbana wrapping paper. And it was just so repulsive to think that that poor woman feels like she has got to come on the internet and explain to a bunch of grifting assholes why she's doing anything she's doing. And it doesn't matter what you think she did or didn't do. It's none of your business. Where is the disconnect? Do you have anything that resembles a real life? Where do you have the time to get this involved in someone else's life? And why? Could it be money? Oh, maybe. That's the only thing. Listen, to me, it can only be one of a couple explanations. You are either tragically unfulfilled and nobody gives a shit about you in your real life, so you try to insert yourself into other people's problems, and then it's like, hey, look at me over here. Oh, pick me. Oh, yeah, me. Look, me. I'm the asshole who doesn't know anything. Who's you know. I heard a great expression. I think I heard it here on YouTube. I would love to take credit for it, but it's not mine. But I'm going to say it. Karma is a fickle mistress. That part's mine. The way I heard it was, karma doesn't. I zhuzhed it up a little. Karma is a fickle mistress, and she doesn't knock. She kicks your door right off the hinges. How do you sleep at night? Because I don't know about, most people out here. Maybe it's my age. I don't know. But if you're fortunate enough to get to be a certain age and you have anything that resembles a conscience, well, sometimes when you lay your head on the pillow at night and you're not quite ready to go to sleep, sometimes, you just start thinking about things. Kind of like the YouTube rabbit hole, only it's, the yellow brick road of life's events. But I guess that only happens if you have a conscience. And, if you're a somewhat normal person, I think you probably, maybe you do think about things that you've done or people that you maybe weren't as good to as you should have been, etc. Don't we all have enough of that with like our own real life people in our real life? Like, you feel the need to add strangers from the internet to your list? You are tragically unfulfilled. You've got to be. Just a deep, cavernous well that can never be filled. Or I should say, this is your job you bought yourself. There's like a serious lack of dignity and shame on this place. I don't know. I'm just not that person who would ever be proud of living off of other people's. I don't know. I'm sure she thinks that she provides some wonderful content. What do? You sit your fat ass at your dining room table and you shove your face full of food and you look like the guy that used to be the damn, oh God, what's his name? I meant to look it up. He was a baseball coach. She wears the same glasses as Madden. Is it Madden? I don't know, but she's not like, what exactly is she doing? And whatever. But when you have to insert yourself into other people's lives and problems to pay your bills, I would never admit that to anyone ever. And she wants you to think she's this big baller, like she's got all this money. Then why don't you do something good and productive with your wealth and your blessings? Like, I don't know, maybe help somebody. But instead, I'm telling you, I clearly don't know how anything works in her marriage, nor do I care. But I know how it works in mine. And my husband I wouldn't do it. Like, I would never. I have heard her in the very short time that I've been listening to her via the clip channels. Man, I would never disrespect my husband by saying some of the things I hear her say, but I don't give a shit what that's her life. Have at it. Yeah. Molly, why don't you pay Marvon's bills since you are so very concerned about, what's going on in his life and his care, I guess, and his wife that's such a horrible, wretched, awful person. Well, you care very much about him, right? And his children. So maybe you should donate like all your super chats and shit. Why don't you guys, you and the rest of the tragedy pimps, why don't you guys have a good old fashioned telethon? Hey, Constance, how are you? Yeah, why not do that? Since you are so very worried about what is going on in this Dre McCrae's life and the life of her husband, the life of her children, you want to drag her for filth. Why don't you take over paying for his care, since he is so very important to you, and then we can dance. Yeah, Molly, would you do? I heard this woman speak, and listen, for all I know, she could be absolutely full of shit, the worst wife in the world. That is Dre I'm talking about. I did not get that impression at all. But I am not so naive as to sit here and purport that I know anything about her life. No, I'll leave that to Molly. But based on what I have seen, she's a very good actress if everything she's saying is a lie. And it just made me wonder. Would you do all that, Molly? Would you, boy, you'd probably have to get the grifting into overtime. Would you pay? And I do believe the amount. I think the amount sounds very accurate, if not, maybe a little too conservative. I mean, would you do that for your husband? Just wondering. I don't know you or your husband. I wouldn't presume, because I'm not like you. don't get involved in other people's marriages and lives because I don't give a shit. And I have a husband who's home all the time and really likes me, spends a lot of time with me. These are some things I wrote down that came to mind when I watched this clip of Dre. Obviously, she's physically beautiful, well-spoken, intelligent, entrepreneurial, compassionate, spiritual/religious. She's got gravitas. There is something about her that draws people in. She has a nice way about her. Gravitas. And I see a woman who certainly seems to very much love and adore her husband and her children. Now you want to hear what I wrote down for Molly? This is what I think when I look and or hear Molly. Narcissistic, delusional, classless, desperate, unfulfilled, jealous, mean-spirited, insecure, as evidenced by her, all of that, incredibly overworked, entitled, condescending, manipulative, disingenuous. I will say, I have also, unlike several of the other ones, kind of like I said, Dolly, I can see where people would be, he's got that way of connecting with his tribe. And that's fine. Everybody needs that. Some people do it better than others. I have seen Molly. I told you when, I think it was probably the trip where they got Don and Candace fired. My neck's too red. Oh, yes, that's right. Loneliness. Yes, correct. I would agree. Susie Q, how are you? That trip, I laughed my ass off when Molly was, I think she was on the sidewalk in front of the CPS office in Hawkins County. I think it was Hawkins County. That was highly entertaining because she was just, well, she was wearing this like traffic cone orange shirt, which actually was very smart on her part. And she was being funny. I mean, I was highly entertained. That kind of stuff, that I can rock with you on that. This kind of stuff, no. But of all of them, she definitely has, she can be self-deprecating. A trait she most certainly does not share with Betty. So I don't want to just pile on all that and then act like I don't think she has any redeeming qualities. I think at some point she probably could have made it as whatever it was she was shooting for, reality TV star, whatever it was, because she's one of those people who, I always say, whether it's here on YouTube, whether it's your career, whether it's whatever it is that you're wanting to do, you're aiming for, you have to find a way to set yourself apart from the rest of the crowd. Whether it's your, physical presence, whether it's your brain, whether it's a combination of both, whether it's because you will just act the damn fool and do things that other people are not willing to do to get a laugh. You get the picture. So listen, I have a very hard time coming up with almost anything to say positive about Betty. I can come up with things about Molly. I do not find her to be as, I hate to call anyone irredeemable, but I know who I would pick if you had all of them standing there and it was like, okay, sudden death, you're going to need to pick one to go have dinner with. Oh, and you've got to go to the Capitol Grill. I know who I'd pick. So somebody like her, I think about, my God, imagine what she could do if she was willing to put all of that into something positive and something good instead of just coming on here and doing whatever. I only have a Tragedy Pimp reference of her. I did watch your wife swap episode a long time ago. Big juicy. And I liked her. I liked her on there. I thought it was tragic that she had that big closet full of plastic shoes. But I liked her. But listen, I'm not here to psychoanalyze her. All I know is what she's doing now, it's disgusting. And she's more dangerous, I think, than the other ones because I think she's got a little more going on upstairs than they do. Betty and this pen are almost as smart as each other. I'll let you figure out which is smarter. Molly is not in the same intellect class as them. Not in my book. Fairy Dust, I agree. Her comment says they could all choose to do and be better. Life is about choices. It's really sad to see all of them using their platforms in such negative ways. I agree. And then, they go and they just, oh my God, they act depraved. They denigrate themselves. And then they want to scream at all of us and tell us we're the problem because we're haters. No, we're tired of you ass clowns dragging us down with you. Because we're all in the same shitty playground. There's nobody, well, I'm not going to say nobody. I'm sure there are people who are jealous of what I'm not sure. But I promise you I'm not one of them. There's not one thing. Not one thing. Molly, I promise you, I have a closet full of all the shit you like. It doesn't make me any better than you or anyone else. That I know. It's nice to have it, but that's not what it's about. And the last thing I'm going to say about Dre is I get the impression that at least where Molly and company are concerned, because I'm sure Betty's going to find a way to stick her big ass into it, even though it's got nothing to do with her. But, she never met some attention that she didn't like. Mike Stevens, you are correct. Mike's comment says Molly couldn't fit in your things. No, Molly could not fit my skirt, my Tom Ford pencil skirt. She couldn't wear it as fingerless gloves, okay? Not that matters either, but because that's who she is, okay? I don't come in here. There are people that bust on me and assign to me like, oh, well, you think you're better than people because you're clothes and you're the. Au contraire, mon frere, I have never once, nor will I, ever say, well, listen, everybody, I'm better than you are because I have better clothes. No, I've never done that. I won't do that. If that is who I was, pardon me one moment. Okay, sorry. That was my son, who I need to call back. I said, give me 10 minutes. Yeah, you know what? I was going to talk about Heels in the Air and her Betty video from this morning. Here's what I'm going to say before I say adios, because that was my son, and I haven't been able to. He has called me. God bless him. He's such a sweet kid, honestly. He calls me all the time on his way home from work, and he doesn't have to. But I haven't been able to talk to him. The last couple times he's called me, I've been live, and I tell him I'll call you back as soon as I'm done. And then, you know, he gets home and he's busy. So I want to talk to my son, so I'm going to end this. I've been on almost 2 hours anyway. But here's where I'm going to leave it, and we're going to pick up tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Betty, and we're going to talk about Heels in the Air, her video from today. Betty, oh yes, Betty and her God talk. Here's the preview. Here's where I'll leave you and the preview of tomorrow. 1 year. There's a Heels in the Air is showing a clip of Betty from 1 year ago. Y'all, holy shit. All I can say is, Betty, girl, you need to watch that video, because what a difference a year makes. Holy shit. Betty, you had hair a year ago. No, it wasn't great, but my God, it was not all broken off. And Betty, girl, this is not agreeing with you. And I'm not joking. As anyone could see. Oh, the Unabomber. Bye, Unabomber. It's really not the Unabomber. It's TBMBHB, the unnameable lurker, who I met for the first time in Savage Lives chat a while back. And every time I would look at the name, I saw the Unabomber. And it's hard to type. And finally I said, can I just call you Ted? It would be so much easier. Okay, so anyway, tomorrow we're going to talk about Heels in the Air. And you know, I got a funny feeling that some new fuck shit will have gone on between now and tomorrow. So I don't know what time. It'll be in the afternoon. So I need to go talk to my baby. And oh, so Ted, you're still here. Oh, Ashley, thanks for hanging out, girl. I hope I'll see you in one of the places we tend to meet up. Prissy, I hope you're feeling better, girl. Hippie, thanks for coming. Fairy Desk. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with me for a while. And like I said, I have spoken to Kevlar, and there's a dress. They're making the prototype. They're going to send it to me for my approval. All right, everybody. I'm coming back tomorrow. We'll talk some more smack. So I hope everyone will have a good night, and I'll probably see you running around out here on these streets. This has been Crimes and Fashion, along with fashionistas, felons, and Fruit Loops. where we talk about some very bad, ignorant ass, poorly dressed, and mean as snake people while being dressed to kill. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, I forgot what I was wearing, what I'm still wearing. Tory Burch beaded tunic and Louboutin daffodil pumps. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Happy Monday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.